What's up, guy? What's up, guys? NASCAR Full Tars back once again, and I saw the whole race yesterday, and I'm not so happy about what Hamlin said at the end. The interview was so uncalled for, and very, very undoubtedly the wrong idea of doing. Well, the wrong idea of becoming the way he is just absolutely wrong. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me too don't get too upset at me, but I think you Denny Hamlin fans really should be disgusted because the way Hamlin acted on the track was was really messed up, and he should have, you know, if I mean, I'm lost for words right now. I mean, my man just won the race, which is cool, but the way Hamlin acted after the race was just uncalled for. He should have cooled himself down. But you know how he is. He's very short fused. Hamlin Hamlin just basically just flat out um, stopped Alex Bowman from celebrating with his fans. That was a really big mistake. And basically, what I saw was during that whole, before Alex Bowman won, Denny Hamlin he left the bottom open for Alex Bowman to take charge. the The main problem with that was that Bowman's brakes were starting to fade on him, and that's why you saw the brake rooters look pretty beat red because he was using a lot of brake pressure on his front and rear brakes. Because usually when a car starts losing its brakes throughout the whole entire lap, because basically what that's what's gonna happen, because that's what the track is a short track, very tight turns, very short. The problem was when this all happened, Hamlin left the bottom open for Alex Bowman to take charge. And I'm repeating this the same thing, but then Bowman for some reason he felt like his brakes started to fade, and that's why he went into Hamlin. That's what I saw. Basically, a track like that is very tough to keep your line because the line is very thin between. No, the line has been one line. That track is only a one groove racetrack, from first turn, second into the backstretch into the thing, because basically they're running like maybe a road course setup or short track setup. We never know, but remember, you're running up against a non-playoff driver. Hamlin took it way too seriously. He should have at least backed off a couple of notches. Let Alex Bowman take charge and just let him race. If he burns his stuff up, he should have went after him. But it didn't happen. He forced the issue to make Alex Bowman hit his brakes even more. Bowman thought that the 11 was gonna go down into him. It didn't happen. Bowman basically hit his brakes. He had not a lot of brake pressure anymore. He went right on the side of Hamlin, not on purpose, by accident, because his car started losing grip in the rear. Then the biggest problem was after the race was over. This is when things got a little bit more hard to understand. Why did Hamlin come out of left field and stop Alex Bowman from taking the checkered flag, because he just went right up next to him, blocked him in. Then you see Alex Bowman rev the car, spin it, and then try to get it. Then all of a sudden, after Hamlin getting all the damage in the rear end, then the possibility of thinking about the championship just probably, and even his crew chief told him, dude, the big picture, you're in the championship four already. This is why my opinions are so true. If you're in the championship four, don't take your chances out on another drive because of his lack of brake pressure. That's probably what happened. Because if Alex Bowman didn't have enough brake pressure, he would have run right on the side of the driver's side door of Hamlin, and both Alex Bowman and Denny Hamlin would have been out of the race. But Hamlin should have understood. Okay, I'm in second place. That's as far as you go, man. You already earned like maybe 19 or 18 points in. Kyle was already about to be out, but he was right behind him in third place. The problem was that the way Hamlin thinks about other drivers is just so uncalled for. And I know a lot of you Denny Hamlin fans are gonna be like, dude, you should go to hell and all that. Just listen, when I see a driver put a lot of emphasis on the word hack, like steal, Hamlin, you're not from the ghetto, man. You just put yourself in a big hole, a 6 feet under hole that you probably not gonna climb out of, because basically now NASCAR is gonna probably give him a very very hefty fine, and my guess is probably gonna be good as yours. Maybe he might not be in the race for the final four. They're gonna probably put Truex and Kyle Busch in. Oh no! By the way, I just got news from my dad just now. Kyle's interview was pretty calm about his teammate, and he was not very happy about Hamlin, because I know him and Hamlin had a really bad disagreement. Kyle was not so happy about Hamlin, and I don't blame Kyle Busch because he didn't have a great car either. But the way he raced Chase Elliott, that Kyle Busch said, the way he raced Chase Elliott, the way he did, and he quotes that it might happen in three or two laps to go during the end of the season. They're gonna say that either Hamlin had lost his mind, either Hamlin lost his cool for, I don't know how you call it. Hamlin just lost his cool because he wanted to put the blame all on the 48. Basically, the biggest problem is it was all on you. Even the crew chief told the dude, "It's the big picture. Focus on the big picture." His car was already damaged in the rear. Then he wanted to damage the 48 car and his own car. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. You don't do that. And although he came from the back of the field, in the beginning of the Martinsville, he came from the back of the field after not passing the inspection line. And then all of a sudden, here he is trying to stop Max Bowman from celebrating with his fans and start damaging his car again. Like, what's the biggest idea, man? What's the big idea doing that? If you're part of the final four, stop what you're doing, get to the garage or get to the pit stop, start doing your interview, and that's it. That's as far as you go. You don't have to do what you just did just now. That's just wrong, man. And by the way, he lost my respect now because the way he drives, it's just uncalled for. I cannot believe that Joe Gibbs still has him in that number 11 car after all these years until now. That is uncalled for because you're just putting your own team at risk. I'm probably getting eliminated from the playoffs. We've got to wait until Tuesday. Hopefully, we'll find out what's going to happen to Hamlin because there could be big, hefty fines flying off that table to every other driver that had, thing. But to me, Kyle was I know I like Kyle Busch because now I know he's a race car driver at heart. I know he didn't have the best equipment. And by the way, the interview with Kyle was pretty calm compared to all the other interviews he had in the past. But this Kyle Busch was more calm, cool, and collected. He disliked his teammate. I think Kyle lost his respect of Hamlin because I know he's a teammate, but I mean to him, I think Kyle might let Hamlin just be him. I think what Kyle's gonna do, he's gonna let Denny Hamlin fight for himself because I know Kyle, he's very very particular. But the one person that's gonna be very very questionable is Truex because that guy's very good at Phoenix. He won there in the spring. Kyle Larson and his team were not running in. He was running in front for 24 laps. He was trying to earn points. But I know my cousin doesn't like Kyle Larson, but Larson was minding his P's and Q's. He was being hustled. If you didn't notice, Kyle Larson was being hustled. I know this video is long, but it's true. Kyle Larson was being hustled. He didn't want to get hustled. He was not great at Martinsville. He's not very great. Although he got lucky, he won 2 races. That was as far as he went. Throughout the whole race was going on, then something major happens to Chase Elliott. And I'm like, oh, great. Um, I hear Keselowski trying to take punishment to other drivers, but that's just wrong too. Taking out the 9 was the biggest mistake of his life. And he doesn't understand. Last year, he got pushed around by the 9. This year, then he pushes the 9 back. This is not gonna be very big. This is not gonna look very good for Keselowski after he's gonna leave Penske, because either way, Chase is gonna try to take him out either way too. Then at the end, Keselowski trying to take out Kyle Busch to the finish line was wrong. Then after the fact, Keselowski takes out Kyle Busch at the end of the race, coming into turn number 1 and 2, takes him out and intentionally. I'm like, this is why Kyle's not going to stop taking out Keselowski, because you keep pushing people around thinking it's okay. It's not. You're going to hurt not only that guy's car, you're going to hurt your own car. What's the sense? And this sentence always keeps up coming up. And Hamlin really shot himself in the foot this time. If you got the fastest car, doesn't mean you're going to win the race. And better yet, it proves it right there. It's not gonna fly for Hamlin anymore now. It's not gonna now that he's thinking that the race is gonna come to him very easy. It's not. Listen, people, I'm a race fan at heart. I like Alex Bowman. What he does is what he does. He's a NASCAR race car driver. That's when I was at Pocono. He won the race because of the most stupidest thing ever. But the problem is Larson was ahead of him. He busted a tire coming in the third turn, and he took it. He didn't take it away from Larson. He just passed him with authority. And I want to put something in the comments, and I hope you fans understand this. Any of those NASCAR drivers go to Australia, race the V8 supercars, and watch the V8 supercars, because I enjoy watching those guys because they're absolutely crazy. Like, their rules are completely different from ours in America. But the drivers up in Australia, they race each other so hard. Like, there's no rules about it. Like, there's no rules on the table. They just race each other hard, door to door, fender to fender, nose to tail. They don't even care. They'll just bump somebody out the way, even for the win. That's the way the adjustal system works in Australia. Here in America, you bump somebody out of the way, they get pissed off real easy, which is not right. What I like about it in Australia, there's no rules about it. They go out there, they beat each other up for the win, or they just try to win the race with a banged up car, the way it is. But here in NASCAR, you got a bunch of babies needing a diaper change after this, because Hamlin was one. Hamlin was the top one in this list right now. And let me put it to you this way. If you put Denny Hamlin in an Australian V8 supercar, his ass is grass. I'm telling you. My opinion, if I put this on the comments box, a lot of Denny Hamlin fans are going to be saying, oh yeah, he's going to make it in Australia. No, man. If you look at the Australian V8 supercars, those drivers are crazy. They go door to door, fender to fender. They don't give each other centimeters. They don't give each other an inch. Not even an inch. Even my dad, me and my dad looked at each other with a smile on my face. We're like, none of these NASCAR drivers are going to make it in Australia. They're going to get their asses beat. They don't even care if the sponsor on your door matches your integrity. I got to tell you, my opinion is all true. If I put that in the comments box, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, that's totally true. But some people, some NASCAR fans, like Denny Hamlin fans, are going to say, he's going to make it. I'm going to say, no, he's not going to make it. You know why? The drivers in Australia, they're very strong, bullheaded. They're very, very strong, willing to take you out. My dad watched one of the races in Australia on Motor Trend from the Australian V8 supercars. He's like, holy cow, these guys are not giving each other an inch. I'm sorry, guys, but our boys might get our ass. I'm sorry, guys, but our NASCAR guys might get their asses beat by the V8 supercars in Australia. I'm sorry to say, but NASCAR might lose his integrity by up against Australia. That's the sport. That's the racing sport that we're up against. The V supercars in Australia up against NASCAR. That's a race to watch because the cars over there compared to ours, they have single sequential 6 gear gearbox with a couple of things on the inside the car to either brake pressure or whatever. Our cars don't even have that. We have things on the dash to turn on fans and stuff. They have stuff on the wheel to turn the fans on, whatever, turn the car on. I mean, that's the sport. That's the racing sport we're up against, and that's my opinion. And my first opinion was about Denny Hamlin. That's basically it. But if you guys enjoyed this video, I hope you guys understand that Denny Hamlin lost my respect. He should have never done what he did, and he should have just let it go. I mean, listen, he was already in the final four already. Chase is already advanced. I know my cousin's pretty pissed off at the fact he should have won the race, but I mean, listen, I mean, NASCAR racing doesn't suck. It's just that we're in a world right now that we're in a hostile type of place. Flash Racer, let me tell you this much. Your man still made it to the championship four. He earned points, like maybe about 20 points, and he still made it in. So, and next week, well, this weekend coming up is the championship week. I hope either Chase or Larson wins championship. If Chase wins second, I mean that's huge dividends. But remember, Phoenix is a race that everybody would like to win, but the problem is you only got 4 drivers that are gonna win the championship. But the eyeball right now is on Tuesdays when the fines hit home and everything's probably gonna be very, very hefty fines to every other team. And I got a gut feeling Hamlin might not be in the final four for this weekend because of yesterday, that's way over. That was way too over the top because doing that to Alex Bowman was just wrong. I mean, I know Alex Bowman put the exclamation point on that race, but I mean, hey, but next year is gonna be between two racing sports, Australian V supercars and NASCAR. Those are the two sports I was eyeballing because next year the V supercars are also gonna have the Camaro and the new Mustang for Generation 3. They're in Generation 2 still, just like us. We're already on Generation 6, but they're in a totally different level. They're slowly progressing into the new generation car. Basically, they're doing what we're doing, going through different generations of the car. I mean, Generation 3 is totally different from Australia from us. But their car, in my satisfaction, is probably going to be slightly different because although that the car is going to be more aerodynamic to what the actual car in the production is, I'm sorry to say, but I think some of our NASCAR guys are not going to make it to Australia. They probably won't even handle it. They're probably going to get beat. I got a gut feeling Australians are going to get us beat. So I'm telling you now, the guys in Australia have the most beautiful cars over there in Australia. They have our El Camino over there and then Ranchero over there. I'm like, whew, I wish I would move to Australia, but the problem is their world is so hotter than ours. They're in somewhere on the other side of the equator. Let me tell you this much. NASCAR up against V supercars in Australia. I just wish it could happen. Just for old time's sake. Just let's see what happens. But I like the new V supercars for next year, including our cars. Of course, they're next gen cars. Looks like more like a sports car IMSA style, but I mean, I think the Australian V supercars got us beat. What you guys say in the comments? Like, comment, to subscribe. 22 subscribers. NASCAR Full Tours out.